In triage, they saved 2 minutes. In the first wait before the doctor, they shaved 17 minutes. Before the results, they saved 22 minutes. And before getting discharged, they saved another 15 minutes. Taken on their own, there are not massive improvements to a 6 or 10 hour wait time. But this is an important part of Lean, that improvements that will be made in any area are not going to be groundbreaking or going to be revolutionary. It's going to be small but incremental. Because all in all, they save 56 minutes of the wait time in a hospital, almost an hour. Hello everybody, it's really good to see some known faces as well as some new ones. And today I have come to you to show you what is lean thinking or lean management or lean production. It goes by many names, but the basics is all the same. Now, just before I start, does anybody here happen to own a Toyota brand car? Just by any chance? No? Oh, well, lean management is based on the Toyota production system, just that the basic principles of it generalized and applied to all kinds of industries. Now, what will lean thinking do for you? It's a systematic method that will allow you to reduce what is not adding value, at the same time enhancing the value that you give to your customer, improving the flow of work, and also making sure there's a constant improvement mindset going on. Now, there is a lot of bibliography about lean management and lean thinking. You can find books for any industry, for even any department in an industry, and basically the resources are out there, go get them. There's probably like a bunch of books in here now, think about it. The same can be said for all the business tools that are going to be mentioned around the presentation. I'm here to give you the basics, a bird's eye view of lean management. I'm sure you can find information on all the tools that you need. And speaking about tools, lean itself is a method, which is a word that I feel is very important for us. Across our careers as managers, we have been taught, we have used, and we have heard of countless even management tools. We have the Ishikawa diagram, we have value stream mapping, EBI, the 5 Ws, and etc., fancy words over fancy words. But those are tools on a toolbox. Lean is more of a guide, a way of thinking that will teach you how to use those tools effectively at whatever you are doing. Be it proprietary club, be it city club, it all applies. And as I said, it has been used in any kind of industry. This guy has been used in construction, has been used in hospitality, has been used even in the NHS. In all of the industries, it applies the same, small but incremental benefits that affect the whole company. In construction, it can be the improvement of the delivery of product, can be a reduce in waste in cement, let's say. Hospitality, less wasted food, maybe improved drink serving time. And the NHS is something that I'm going to focus about. If I may ask, if it's not too personal, the last time that you went to an emergency room, hopefully not soon, how long did you spend there?
10.5 hours.
So as you can see with that here, the wait times in our emergency room in a hospital can be quite daunting, so to speak. So this gives me a great introduction to talk about my mom. My mom, not actually my mom, but my mom is a nurse in an undisclosed hospital in Alicante, and they applied the lean thinking in the emergency wing where my mom is a supervisor. I will be using their experience as a basis to show you how it can be applied and the benefits that it has. So, before we start getting down to lean, we have to know what happens at our club. We have to start gathering data. What we need to know is what our customer values and what our customer does. So, from the moment the customer enters the area that we want to improve, and mind you, this can be from the whole club, to the F&B area to a small process. We are simply going to write what the customer does at every step of the way. In the hospital, they put, for example, patient enters the emergency room, reaches desk and gets data taken. Data gets processed, waits in the waiting room, waits for the doctor, waits for the nurse. There's a lot of waiting in there. And in another color is marked who is the responsible for that area or that set of actions. If we translate this to an F&B operation in any club, it could be member enters the bar, reaches the counter, gets attended by a member of the staff, drinks are ordered, food is ordered, order is sent, so on and so forth. If it's about the whole club, the same thing. Member enters the parking, member finds a spot for his car, member enters the club, and so on until we have the whole process that we want to get it applied to, all written down with whoever is responsible in another color in a post-it. The next step is going to be to time it. Just a second. There we go. The next step is going to be to time the actions. What they did in the hospital was simply get a member of the staff attached to the patient that came in through the door. And basically with just his phone and a chronometer, recording all the times that everything took. So, after we've got all this data, what we have to do is interpret it in a way. The hospital saw that there were some ridiculous wait times. For example, when they were waiting for the results of a sprained ankle, they had to wait up to 5 hours. So clearly, if you have to wait 5 hours for just a sprained ankle on the results, there is a change that is very much needed in there. So what they did is interpret it. And mind you, you can use whatever tool you want, but this is a value stream map. This is a very visual way of showing what the actions are, where the problems are, highlighted in the stars, and also what is giving value and what is not, differentiated by whatever is highest or lowest. And if you excuse me now, think about it, there's a bit too many words in here, so let me just, there we go. You can use, instead of using all these words, you can use pictures. Again, we all have to work with different committees or owners. In the case of Adam over here, that's working for a proprietary club. So you can use whatever you need. If you are dealing with more financially minded people, maybe more numbers and more mathematically inclined words can be used. If you're working with owners that just want to see like a bird's eye view, pictures will be nice and showing just with little words, highlighting what things have to be changed. After this, we need to figure out where the problems are that were mentioned in the stars and get down to fine combing them, make sure that we know what is going on and how to fix it. At this hospital, they used a Ishikawa diagram to make sure they could know where the problems were, have everything in order. But again, I encourage you to use whatever tools you are most comfortable with, or maybe what tools your committee will be most agreeable with. Now that we have all this data, it's time to get into action. We can do this with an A3 document. This got its name because it's really, really big. That is a document, again, pioneered at Toyota, based on the principles of planning, doing, checking, and acting on what has been checked. You simply write the background of the situation with the conditions or context. What goal do you have? The analysis that you have gone through to reach that goal. Proposal and planning, and then a follow-up or a check update to make sure that everything is running smoothly. You can find many templates. This one is really, really basic, but there's some really, really fancy templates that you can find. I personally really love this kind of document. Everything looks really clean and smart. Personal recommendation, but up to you. When we've got this, we have to simplify it because this is a bit too much. So for the staff and the people that have to put these plans into action, a simple action plan will do. Have a document that states what action needs to be taken. Let's say, apply the 5 Ws in this area. Maybe reduce wait times by staying on the counter more. Or whatever can be applied to your situations. Just put whoever is responsible, a date by the time it has to be implemented, and a date for the time that it has to be checked for any problems, maybe anything that has been encountered on the way, and improve it. Now then, at the hospital, after they did all this and spent a year, they found out that in triage, they saved 2 minutes. In the first wait before the doctor, they shaved 17 minutes. Before the results, they saved 22 minutes. And before getting discharged, they saved another 15 minutes. Taken on their own, there are not massive improvements to a 6 or 10 hour wait time. But this is an important part of Lean, that the improvements that will be made in any area are not going to be groundbreaking or going to be revolutionary. It's going to be small but incremental. Because in all, they save 56 minutes of the wait time in a hospital, almost an hour. And I think we all can agree that being in the hospital for 1 hour less is a blessing. I'd like to mention that there is a knock-on effect on whatever changes that you do. In this hospital, for example, reducing the wait time that much means that there were doctors freed, so they could attend more patients. Nurses and physicians didn't have to stay next to the patients, so they could be doing other things. In the case of clubs, if we're talking, for example, of a bar operation, is there a club here that does not have a food and beverage operation? Good, we have a common point then. If we're talking about food and beverage, if we improve the delivery times of the food, means that the staff has more time to maintain the place, to make sure the members are happy, interact with them a bit more, entertain them, improving the value that is already there in your club. So, in conclusion, what they did on the hospital was to reduce waste as much as they could by eliminating wait times, which improved the customer value that the customer gets, and introducing a continuous improvement mindset by setting dates for when things are going to be checked up and reviewed again for any kind of improvements. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Lean Thinking. Thank you very much, and this is the end of my presentation.